Hi everyone, my subscribers, my returning viewers. Oh my, I'm so happy that you have returned. You have brightened my day every day. You have returned in your numbers. I'm so happy. And to my regular viewers, I'm happy that you are here too. Right? And I'm so proud to say that when I look at the algorithm, only one thing, the the viewership. You need to spend a little more time to watch it. I know you can't spend 100% of your time, but maybe a little over 50% or 25%, 30%, so that the algorithm can show. Because I have to reach 4,000 watch hours, right? And I have to reach 1,000 subscribers. But by God's grace and my subscribers' grace, and DTV plans to go forward. I am a person who doesn't dwell on fears and doubts. I believe in going forward, always motivating others and become motivated. Sometimes I have to motivate my own self. You see, we have to develop a self-esteem that wants us to go higher and higher. We can't develop a low self-esteem, else we are going to be always going down. Right? So my viewers and my subscribers, continue to subscribe to my channel. And to my returning viewers, continue to return. There's plenty of things in store at Auntie D TV. Wherever you are this afternoon, enjoy the day, enjoy the time. Remember that the man up above is the one who wakes us up and is the one who puts us to sleep. And we have to always put our trust in him. Our complete trust. Because we are all failures. We cannot go through without the mercy of our great creator God. Now, I want to talk to you a little today on the situation that I saw in the papers. I saw it in the Observer. I saw it, see it going around, and it's of interest to me too. I've never been in that sort of situation, but I've known persons who have had relationships with those persons, and they all vary. Some are very wonderful and some turn out very sour. But I don't use one person's disappointment to judge the other. But what I do saw in and listen to online is there's this JCF police officer who apparently he said that he allegedly has a relationship with a young woman. He's about 19 or 20 years old. And they met sometime in November. And she was invited by him, that's what he said now, to come and spend some time at a hotel in Clarendon where other officers were. Probably they were there on some training or something. They moved from place to place, but they were there at that location at that time. And, you know, I don't know what really went down. As you know, we are not there we can only assume, so we have to say allegedly. He said that she didn't eat something, I think it was a fish or chicken, and then they were going to buy something down the road. Then another time you heard that she was sleeping and thing. You heard that another time at one point it was said that the gun fell. Then he said put the gun on the bed. So the investigators are going through, fine tooth combing the whole thing. But what I do would like to talk is that at the end of the day, the young lady was unalived, right? She was unalived and in the vicinity of the hotel. That hotel is in Clarendon. And it's one thing I do know is that it is sad when a person become unalive because you cannot bring them back. So whatever the situation that could have caused it, it is going to be sad because you cannot bring back the person. So, you know, evidence were seen as to what, that some trigger or something went off. He said it fell, and at one point it was on the bed, but something went on, and it caught the lady, and she was made unalived. Now, listening to the mother on another host program, Popeyes, she was saying one thing that the person called her friend, the lady's friend, and told her, and the person called she. But you know, going back and forth, you don't get much sense in everything, but you have to just listen, right? So, at the end of the day, there's a lot of questions that are going to be asked, because it would have seemed as if the water is a little murky, because the responses that are coming out doesn't look very good, even on the officer's part, because people are forming their own impression based on what the media is putting out. It looks a bit, they would say, fishy, but it looks a bit murkish. But we were not there. I was not there. But based on what I've been reading and looking at, the point is that the gun fell, and it went straight to her upper left side of her body, and she was made unalive. Now, whatever the reason, she traveled very far on his invitation. And what could have transpired that could have resulted in that happening, only the man up above knows, right? But it is really sad in that oftentimes these people, they have their service revolvers, and I don't want to say carelessly discharged, but sometimes they heard that accidentally, because it is being said it's accidental. Could it be accidental? But one would say if it fell, I don't know, I've never touched a weapon like that. If it fell, could it have gone upwards or sideways, or I don't know how it fell. And maybe in his fright, he was trying to grab it, right? He was trying to catch it quickly, and then maybe his finger got into the section where the trigger is and it go up. Sometimes some things do happen to the worst of us and the best of us. But it's caused a type of doubt as to the truth towards it. But I would say, after the authorities have finished clearing up their investigation, something would come out or will come out, because having met in November, and her job was that of a bartender. So maybe she got her day off and she went to get some relaxation or whatever, or he wanted her to share his company, and that happened. But let us look a little more into it. Let us pull it apart a little. If at one point they were going out because she didn't eat a particular meal at the time, and she was sleeping, apparently up until now they did not get to go out to get what she could have eaten afterwards, because that incident happened right at the time. If it fell, one would think that it fell on the ground. Could it have, when it fell, it just spin and then jump up and send off a bullet? Or it was already cocked and trying to catch it in the wrong way, Maybe if what he probably should have done, in my thinking, is it was falling, he should probably push it or just let it fall on the ground. But then it apparently the trigger or something went off. So the thing came out and hit the lady in her sleep. She was on the bed. And at one point he said it was on the bed. It was on the bed. So he put it on the bed. So I don't know if it was on the bed and it's sliding off. He took it from the holster and put it, it's the back and forth thing. But just to let you know that in every situation, you will get different statements until the real investigator gets to the bottom of it, so that the public and the family can be properly informed. The mother said when she went to identify the body, she saw a hole in her upper part of her face, and it has to be that, which means that she's alleging that it could have been 2 she got instead of 1. But I don't want to say she got 2 or 1, but apparently she got 1, because the one on the left side took her life. Helped her to become alive. So, whoa. The true story I know the true story will come. It will come. No matter how long it takes, it's gonna come. And I imagine that police officer is very, very unhappy, because it's all over. People forming their opinion, and if it was a genuine thing which was accidentally done, you see how the devil can do things too? It could be genuinely accident, It could be genuine. But he would have to declare himself, and he would have to say, she's not there. I don't know if they were on the boat. Apparently, I would not have expected her to be in the room with others, so there may not have been anyone there to say, help him to defend himself, you know. If there was, then we would have heard it. But he's the one who is talking. So it's his word, because she was not awakened to be able to, if, and you see the devil do things, you know. It caused her to become unalived. It could have probably hit a part of her body, and she could probably say, well, yes, it was an accident, or no, it was intentional. But she's unalive, so it's her silence now and his words. So the authorities are going to go in depth to get to the matter of it, because what, these things are not supposed to happen, and more so, it belongs to the government, because he's a part of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which they are there to serve and protect. So it could be out there on the road at a establishment doing something, and it fell, and it could have caused other persons to become unalived. So it could have been that it carelessly managed, you know, because those weapons, you have to be so careful. You have to be so careful with them, because you are held accountable. You're held accountable because it is given to you on behalf of the government. So you have to know how you handle them, right? Because that's the main part of a police job. They have to be trained to use their weapon, right? So this young lady, she's young. She has not gone through life much, right? 19 going on to 20 is still a young age. It could have been my daughter too. And the officer is 28, so they could have both been my children, right? So I try to look at it from both ends. You know, I want to think, why would he intentionally want to do that? Having invited her there, if it was an intention, I think it could have been elsewhere. If it's an accident, then it's an accident. But an accident like that and causing a person to become unalive is really sad. So even though it could be an accident, there are persons who are not going to accept it as an accident. But only himself could see, and the investigators, if it is really an accident. And it could be an accident, but he's going to be held accountable. I don't know if at the end of it all, he's going to want to continue into that area of profession, because maybe he becomes fearful, and it becomes, you know, because he's young, and with what had happened, no, you know, he would have to let good sense prevail. So I would suggest that after the investigators have been completed and the truth comes to light, at the end of the day, another family is going to be sad at what happened, right? We can't condemn people still. I'm not taking up for the officer, but we can condemn until we see and investigate the truth. Because at one point I was thinking, why would somebody want to invite me to, if I was in the young lady's position, invite me there just to do that? For me, personally, having met him in November, it's not even 6 months, I don't think I would want to, personally, that's my opinion, I don't think I'd want to go more so to become comfortable in sleeping. I'm not that. I would want to go. It would have to go much further. I don't know if he has his own room there, if they share a room with other officers. But the relationship to me was quite young. Quite young. They need time to know each other more, you know. And then they could have understood. And if he's still in training or on the job, it's not like he has been in the job for very long. But, I mean, we have to let the chips fall where they may. Sometimes we have to be reluctant in making certain decisions, because the person could be going to and an accident happen on the road. You know, accident can happen on the road. Person can fall sick on the road. You can have a motor vehicle crash on the road. But what I'm just saying is that sometimes we need to weigh our relationships and allow time to go through, because moving into a relationship into such a close knitted way, it does, you need to know the person a little more, because based on what is being said, it's just since November she met him, and I won't think November to know is hardly 3 months, you know. So we have to give time. Let time works and build a relationship. Don't just go into a relationship for one purpose. Go in a relationship where you can build, and if it can't be built over time, then you should let it go. Well, I'm in sympathy with the family and with the guy's side too, because they are, maybe both sides are shocked, they don't know how to deal with it. If it is an accident, you know, if it is really an accident, it is a terrible, terrible accidentally done. And the person is unalive. The person cannot come back. No matter the amount of crying and begging and pleading, if it's going to be a prison term or whatever the term is going to be, whatever is going to be the final assessment for that behavior, he has to stand to the consequences, right? It's a sad note to end it, but do cheer up. We have to do our best to share and learn. Learn from another person's mistake, so that at the end of the day, we don't go and make the same mistake. That's learning. My fellow subscribers, returning viewers, and viewers, share with your family and friends. Share and share and share, so that we can become one community of friends. One community of friends. Have a wonderful day. See you in my next video. Bye.